Welcome to Conversations, Haitian American Woman in Politics. My name is Naomi Blamere and I am your host for this evening. I have had the amazing pleasure of sitting down with three amazing women. And now tonight we have our final fourth candidate, none other than Linda Julien, who is running for Miami Gardens Council Seat 5. Welcome, Linda. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. You look amazing.
Thank you. And so do you.
Thank you. And thank you so much for being here. Wow. You are now a woman in politics.
I am.
How did that happen?
Whew. Let me tell you. First of all, I want to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be here. I think you're doing such amazing things and we need more women in leadership roles, So thank you, Naomi, and keep doing what you're doing. I'm a big supporter.
Thank you, Linda.
How did I get here? So I got here in this journey of mine as I started to mature, as I started to adult. And what I mean by that is I am now a homeowner, and so my mentality shifted when I went from renting to becoming a homeowner. So things started to matter more to me. Yeah. I want to make sure that my lawn was well kept, and I want to make sure that, my trash is picked up on time, and I want to make sure that my house is painted, and, that my neighbors
You're an adult now.
I'm an adult now, right? I'm an adult now. And so I started paying attention to, my tax bills when they would come in, and I'm looking at my ad valorem taxes, and I'm looking at my school board taxes, right? So all these things started to play a role. And then so, you can say that I'm vested in my community, right? I'm a stakeholder in my community. And so I stay abreast of what's going on, and I volunteer in my community to make it a better place, right? Because there's always room, to be better. And so I stay abreast of the current events that are happening. And so when I saw, the folks who were running in my race, and I had done my research, etc., I said to myself, you know what, Linda, if you want to see some change, you've got to be the change that you want to see. And so I decided to run.
I agree. Linda, everyone has a journey that leads them to make great decisions. Tell us a little bit about your story. Who's Linda Julien?
Sure. So Linda Julien was born and raised here in Miami, Florida. I was born in Worcester Hospital, grew up in Little Haiti. My parents immigrated from Haiti. I lost my father to gun violence when I was 12 years old. And so that's why I'm really passionate about, gun violence and anything dealing with, changing, reforms for gun violence. Thank you.
Wow.
And so, my journey kind of started there because, just seeking, the answers to questions about why did this happen? Why did this have to happen to us? Why did someone decide to break up our family? Why? And it's something that I grew up with that I never, ever recovered from the trauma. And I saw the devastation that it caused on my mother. She's never recovered. And, in our culture, when you deal with certain traumas, we're not taught to, or we're not really encouraged to, seek therapy and counseling. And so, it's something that I grew up with, during my teenage years and most of my adult life. And, at some point in my adult life, I had to come to terms with it. And so that was my journey growing up here in South Florida, to a single parent. I have a younger brother, and my mom really struggled. She really struggled with us. And so for me, she did everything that she could to put food on the table and provide us with good education. And so I decided that the best way to pay it forward is service to my community. So this is who Linda is. Linda is an activist. Linda is a doer of good. Linda is a public servant at heart. Naomi, I work in local government and I love what I do. I love being a first responder. I love, walking up the street and hearing someone, saying, oh, est-ce qu'on parle créole? Ti chérie, est-ce qu'on capable aider moi? I love that. I love providing service to whomever. So that's who Linda Julien is.
Linda, you mentioned how your mother provided a great education for you and your brother as a single parent. Explain to us that path for you, education-wise.
Sure.
What did that look like?
So, Caribbean parents, for the most part, always want their kids to go to private school, right? And so my mother was like, listen, if I got to work 3 jobs, you're going to private school. Mm-hmm. So I went to I went to St. Mary's for elementary school, St. James for middle school right here in North Miami. Mm-hmm. And I went to Archbishop Curley for high school. Then I ended up transitioning over to Florida International University, where I studied public administration and then got my master's degree in public administration from Florida Atlantic University.
Linda, you do not cease to amaze me. You are currently the Director of Economic Development, or the Economic Development Department in the city of North Miami. How did you land there?
So I've been with the city for about 8 years, and I started working in procurement. And so working with small businesses, right? And working with contracts and bids, right? And learning the nuances of helping minority businesses, right? And helping women-owned businesses, right? And learning how to put a request for proposal together, right? And working with the business community and providing with resources so that they can thrive. And then from doing that prepared me to land a role in economic development, which is the basis of bringing businesses into diverse communities, right? So you want to make sure that the businesses you're bringing in can sustain themselves. You want to make sure that they pay decent salaries, right? And that they're inviting and that they're a good fit for that particular community.
Thank you, Linda. Linda, when you think of the word purpose, what does that mean to you?
Purpose. To me, purpose means your why. Your why. Why are you doing what you are doing? And so before I made the decision to run for office, I sat down and discovered my why. And I tend to do that with a lot of the decisions that I make. I figure out my why. That's what purpose means to me. Your why.
As Haitian Americans, our community is quite dynamic and forever changing. What does community mean to you?
Community to me means coming together and living as one, no matter where you're from, right? Living and thriving together. Community to me means service. Community to me means helping others. I was raised on the principles of love thy neighbor. That's how my mom raised me. So for me, that's what community means.
Winning is something that comes up a lot during an election, of course. And I understand that it is extremely important. However, for every man or woman who runs for office, there's a message. There is something that they actually want to communicate to others. Tell us about the seat that you're running for, what your message is, and ultimately, what do you want to accomplish?
Sure. And so I am running for Miami Gardens City Council seat number 5. And ultimately, to me, Miami Gardens is a gem. That's the reason why I decided to purchase my first home there, because I saw the vision. I'm a visionary. But I honestly want to take Miami Gardens to the next level of prosperity. There is so much potential within our city, and I want to be that person to just bring about some different changes and initiatives within our city. And so while our elected officials that we have there now, they've done the best that they could with the resources that they have. And when you have different people coming and sitting into different seats, everybody brings a different set of skill sets and different sets of ideas. And so I understand that increasing of property values is important for folks. I understand that feeling safe in your neighborhood is important for folks, right? Fixing aging infrastructure is important for folks, right? And so all of those things that are conducive to living a good quality of life So those are my plans for Miami Gardens.
So we went out into the community and got some questions for you to ensure that we were inclusive.
Oh, goody.
And that they were a part of this process.
Okay.
So, Linda, the city of Miami Gardens is known to have increased crime rate based on the media. How do you plan to change the narrative about your city as the next councilwoman for seat 5?
Naomi, that is a great question. And I plan to change the narrative of Miami Gardens through branding, right? And I'll just give you a quick example. In 2018, I did a walk in conjunction with Women of Color and Empowerment. And so we did a 5K Mind Your Health walk for Mental Health Awareness Month, right? And it was held at Rolling Oaks Park in Miami Gardens. And so what I decided to do was I called the media. I was like, hey, we have this really great initiative that's happening. You should check it out. It's for a good cause. And so I intend to continue to take steps forward to making sure that, we brand our city as a world-class city. We brand our city as a destination city and making sure that when great things are happening in our city, in which they do, that we let the media know and we let folks know so that they can partake in the greatness of our city. That's how we're going to change the narrative of our city.
Due to COVID-19, many organizations need a safe and equipped place to host meetings and to broadcast live on many social media platforms. BL Workspace can help. All you really need to do is come in and start your live events with whom you wish to connect with. You can connect with church congregations, small businesses, or throw a concert. We are here to help. With a crew of 1 or 2 people and with a strict social distance protocol in place, this is the place where you can hold your virtual meetings. BL Workspace, connecting people and organizations. Call us now to book 786-440-8121. You can also connect with us on Instagram at BL Workspaces. Linda, this is a great segue to discuss your opponent. As you know, today's event was supposed to be a candidate forum. He was invited and stated that he was unable to attend. Tell us, what is your view on his leadership and why do you believe that you are the best candidate for this seat?
Well, I'll tell you, I can only speak for myself, so I'll tell you why I'm the best candidate for this seat. I'm the best candidate for this seat because, I have a vision. I have a vision for Miami Gardens. For me, this is not about self-achievement or anything like that. For me, it's because I really want to elevate my community and I see paths in which I can do that. And so while I can't speak for others, I know what I bring to the table. My experience in government, coupled with my knowledge of grants and my knowledge of understanding how cities work and understanding what it takes to run a city, my knowledge of being able to put a budget together, right? My knowledge of being able
That's key.
That is key. My knowledge of being able to run a municipality, to a certain level, these are things that you need to have, in your toolbox in order to be an effective elected official. And so I know that I have the skill sets necessary to take our city to the next level.
Thank you, Linda. The next question, this is someone who did some research. It says, you have a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, you are a homeowner, a manager for a city with both Haitians and African American constituents. I'd say you are intelligent and successful. Despite your great accomplishments, your opponent, however, says that you are an empty skirt. The conversation about Black women are front and center in this season, especially with the historic Black woman VP nominee. Do you believe your opponent can represent the Black women and girls in his community, especially the young, disenfranchised Black girls who may want to become VP, nominee, president, pilot, business owner, etc.? What message did he send to young Black women, especially concerning their worth and ability to achieve?
Wow, that's a loaded question.
Wow.
Wow. So what I will say is that, in everything that I do, I am positive, right? And so at the very beginning of my campaign, in the very onset of it, I decided I was going to run a positive campaign, an inspiring campaign, a campaign that will inspire other women to run, a campaign that will inspire young girls, to perhaps work in government or run for office or take leadership roles, right? An inspiring campaign. And for me, we have to be careful how we just have to be careful with our words.
Absolutely.
And
someone is watching, listening, and taking offense.
People are always watching. And, we all come from a woman. And so, I would never want anyone to refer to my mother that way or my sister that way or you that way, and so we have to be very careful with our words. But I will tell you, I'm not sure if it's Oprah Winfrey that said this. I think it was Oprah Winfrey, but she says when people show you who they are, believe them. So,
yeah. So you believe him. Absolutely. Linda, with that, we're going to move on to what is your message? There is some young woman out there who's looking at you in Miami Gardens and is like, wow, she is kicking butt. And at the same time, there is a mother of two who's saying to herself, man, I wish I could do or have the courage to do what she's doing. For that woman, for that businesswoman, that professional woman, that student who has great aspirations. As a woman in politics in 2020, what's your message?
So my message is simple. Do it. And always remember your why. Always remember why it is that you're doing something. If you can't define your why, then maybe, it's not the right course of action. But whatever you set your mind to doing, do it. Take the leap of faith. Just do it. You'll never know until you try. Nothing beats a failure but a try.
Linda, you could not come to the BL studio for me not to talk about balance. How do you balance it all?
Woo! So you want to know the real secret?
The real secret.
Let me tell you. So I have tons of routines. And so while I see my acupuncturist on a regular basis, that is key. I see my therapist on a regular basis. That is key. I have different chat groups with various girlfriends of mine. I have one chat group called SWV, Sisters with Voices, and where we talk about politics and what's happening. And, like the debate the other night, we all got on the group chat, like, what is going on? Are you watching? And so it's really a platform for us to really express our voices and, to really talk about these things that folks sometimes just don't discuss, these things that are in our faces that, we need to have conversations about. So having conversations with friends and having happy hour via Zoom. I'm going to visit my mom once I leave here. Family balance, just knowing when to just stop.
Disconnect.
Disconnect. And sometimes I vanish. And what I mean by that is that I don't answer my phone. I don't answer text messages. I just,
your time.
I cut off for maybe 4 to 5 hours and then turn my phone back on and then, reconnect. So it's important to have a balance.
I love it. I love it. Linda, you are in a runoff.
I am.
And there are so many individuals who voted for you the first time and probably thought that it's over. She won. That's it.
Yeah.
Please look to your camera, make your pitch to them. Let's mix it up with some English Creole. Pour tout Haïtien Américain kap gade, kap tande, pour yo wè que petit yo.
Yes.
Pas vrai, petite communauté a.
Yes.
Nan Miami Gardens ap kouri, ap fè on belle figure pour nous-mêmes. Parce que c'est pas seulement pour famille Julien ou fait travail ça, mais c'est pour famille tout haïtien américain qui vivent in South Florida que qu'on y a la petite nous pour dire qu'on a bagay et on peut vivre dans Miami Gardens.
Yes.
Vous comprenez?
Yes,
So, ça veut dire ça son route ou tracé qu'on y a là pour nous voir que Miami Gardens sont place pour nous tous.
C'est ça lieu, oui.
So, s'il vous plaît, parlez avec peuple, dis-yo pour ça pour yo voter, dis-yo qui le pour yo al voter.
OK, so peuple haïtien, premièrement, t'as remis dit nous merci parce que nous aidez m'arriver dans deuxième tour. Moi, c'est Linda Julien, moi, c'est un candidat pour Miami Gardens City Council seat numéro 5. C'est punch number 142, Cap Benet, numéro 142. But je voulais dire nous que Miami Gardens sont au bon côté, OK? Nous connaissons que moun parler, yo dit son mauvais quartier, c'est pour pas aller là. Regarde, moi j'ai 6 ans dans Miami Gardens. Yo pas ko jamais craser dans caille moi, yo pas ko jamais craser machine moi. Moi connais toute voisine moi yo avec voisin moi yo. Là fini moi make sure que l'aime dépenser l'argent moi mais moins dépenser l'argent moi dans business qui dans Miami Gardens. So m'a mette gaz Miami Gardens, m'a aller dans Publix dans Miami Gardens tout ça. So, moi, je voulais dire nous que si portez moi, c'est petite nous, moi, c'est petite communauté, hein, nous pas aucune représentation l'autre bon, hein. So, si m'ta early, so, moi, t'as représenté tout le monde dans la ville Miami Gardens, là. Vous comprenez ça, me dire? Miami Gardens, my name is Linda Julien, and I am running to be your next city council person for seat number 5. I truly believe in Miami Gardens. I truly believe in the people of Miami Gardens, and I want nothing more than to help elevate our city and take it to the next level of prosperity through various initiatives. I'm so happy, to have gotten the opportunity to knock on doors and to connect with many of you. And a lot of us have shared stories and, I've cried with some of you. I've laughed with some of you. You all have prayed for me. And that's what community is about. And so I promise to you that once elected, I will continue to advocate on behalf of every single resident and business owner in the city of Miami Gardens. So please vote for Linda Julien, punch number 142. Early voting begins October 19th until November 1st. Election day is November 3rd. See you at the polls.
This concludes our conversations for this evening. Merci beaucoup pour tout le monde qui t'est branché. Moi, souhaiterais que conversation ça que nous t'ai fait avec femmes dans politique, femmes haïtiennes américaines qui dans politique, t'es vraiment baou yon différents perspectives de politique et de femmes haïtiennes dans communauté nous et tout ça que nous qu'a fait. Merci beaucoup. Nous souhaitons que the next time que nous mettons un event en place, on va toujours brancher avec nous et on va toujours encourager l'autre monde pour suivre nous aussi. Thank you so very much and good night.
Good night.